Every week until the election, we are driving through key states to talk with voters for our series 3 Meals. And this morning, I go to Georgia, where voters backed a Republican in every single presidential race dating all the way back to 1996 until Joe Biden edged out Donald Trump in 2020. But the margin of victory there essentially amounted to an overflow crowd at a minor league baseball game. I've played in front of bigger crowds in this margin. The latest CBS News poll shows Trump and Vice President Harris, it is very close. They are in a statistical tie in Georgia. Top issues in that poll, the economy and rising prices. But as I found out, the people of Georgia have a whole lot of other stuff on their minds. Georgia, known for its peaches, but what Donald Trump and Kamala Harris most want out of the state,
I'm thrilled to be back in the great state of Georgia. I love Georgia.
Is votes.
Good evening, Georgia.
A Harris victory here depends on running up the margins in and around metro Atlanta, where the population is booming. And starting the day over coffee at West Egg Cafe in the city's West Side neighborhood,
We just moved to Georgia from California.
we learned a lot of newcomers, like Marion and Brian Smith, they tend to vote blue. Would Donald Trump be better for you economically?
I wouldn't vote for him even if it meant another 100 grand in my pocket.
Hello, Atlanta.
But while Joe Biden won this state in 2020,
So you're voting for Donald Trump?
there are warning lights for Kamala Harris.
I feel like he aligns more with America and American values than she does.
Isaac Simpson explained those Trump values while I made some gains on a delicious potato biscuit and omelet.
I just know that once you start doing away with things like the Second Amendment and altering it to your own, what you think is sensible, then it's a problem. Because then who's the arbiter of that?
Yet over by the counter,
A lot more of the country became more hopeful once Kamala became the nominee.
some counterpoints from Christopher Walker.
Democrats are focused on actual issues that are of concern to Americans and solving the systemic problems that we all face.
Afterward, we hit the road and made some U-turns along the way. Heading into the suburbs of Forsyth County. Part of a Republican stronghold that the Trump campaign is counting on. And sure enough, as we settled into the station house off US 19 for lunch,
Oh, thank you.
over a chef salad and shrimp and grits,
To me, he's more for the people, the hardworking people.
we heard a whole lot of Trump support.
I did like my lifestyle when Trump was elected. I liked that groceries were much more affordable, gas was much more affordable.
Mixed with general exhaustion.
I can overlook some of the nonsense rhetoric that comes out of his mouth. I mean, ultimately, I feel like he's worried about our country.
His talk of border control, though, is what motivates Republicans like Butch and Judy Harrell.
You're paying for all these immigrants. You're keeping them up in a hotel. You're giving them food. You're giving them health care free.
So you feel like the border has been too open under Joe Biden?
Oh,
obviously.
absolutely. It's just a mess.
Hey, how are you?
A few tables away, and with a serious sugar buzz starting to get the best of me.
I should not have gotten the full sweet tea.
Half and half. You gotta always go half and half.
We met Matt Hudson,
We had a great economy with the person that I voted for.
who says there's very little the Harris campaign could do to scoop away his or his mother Sharon's vote for the man they've supported since 2016.
So he was like, I think I'm going to vote for Donald Trump. And you were like, honey, me too. And then you guys brought it in for a hug.
Honey, me too. This is my mom.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
In need of a little time for the sugar to find its way out of my system, we headed south. Down to Peach County, one of the so-called pivot counties in Georgia, that voted for Obama twice before voting for Trump twice. They love their 2-for-1s here.
Did you know 2 people can eat for $13 today?
As we found an irresistible deal at the 478 Country Buffet in Byron. As you might expect in this purple county and in this restaurant,
What's good here?
quite a few folks still mulling their choices.
So you're undecided.
Mm-hmm.
What more do you need to know?
I don't know yet. I just kind of want to hear like all the options, like everything that both of them have to say. You know?
Marcotte Anderson knows who she wants.
What is the biggest issue that makes you support Kamala Harris?
Right now, abortion.
Really?
The thing, yeah. Because I've been put in scenarios that if I didn't get a choice, it would not work for me.
But she doesn't always feel like she can express that support in public.
I can't put nothing Harris related on my card. If not, it might be vandalized.
Has that happened before?
No, but I don't want.
You don't want to tempt
anything,
anybody.
Yeah.
And yet,
hold on, you got a Biden-Harris hat on. How about
consider the story of Greg Hall, proudly sporting his support for Harris. He's a Democrat who gave his Republican neighbors a ride to the polls last election, raising an interesting hypothetical this time.
You, Greg, a Democrat, drive a Republican to the polls, thereby putting Donald Trump over the top and making him president again. If you knew that that was what you would be doing, would you still do it?
I would make sure they get to the polls because I believe in the right to vote and the responsibility to vote more than I believe in my own candidate.
Bravo to Greg there. Greg's a great American. You missed a great
great.
little soundbite at the end there. So I met a voter in Georgia who drove his Republican
No, I saw it
neighbors.
back
Oh,
then.
yeah. So
Yes,
it was
yes,
like,
yes, I saw it.
I just feel, you know, we've talked about civility and people being cordial again. I think that's good, too. We're all Americans. We're still neighbors. We have political differences, but drive each other to the polls.
Yeah, well done, Greg. Ahead.
Well
done, Tony. Yeah, well done, Tony.
Oh.
Well, that's always a given. I mean, I don't even
Remember, half and half on the sweet tea.
Half and half on
Very
the sweet tea,
important.
brother.